Well, what is going on, everybody? For those who've been watching me for a long period of time, you guys might remember this gas station from a video over a year ago at this point. I was out riding with my boys when we rolled up to this gas station, and there was a girl biker sitting right there.
Everybody remain calm. She has a Honda. I guarantee you she has no clue what my bike is.
What? Get the number. Shut up. Get the number, then deliver it to me. Oh my God!
Now, if that happened these days, it wouldn't be anything to look at. It would just be like, oh, it's another biker, whatever. But back then, me and my friends, for whatever reason, were terrified of women. This was right after I got out of a 5-month-long relationship, and I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after I got out of that relationship. And this was the first woman I had ever talked to in a hot minute. But I pulled up to this pump. She was sitting over there. She was taking off her helmet. I have all of this on video, by the way. My friend is on the other side of the pump, freaking out that it's a girl biker. He's like, is she looking at me? Is she looking at me? Oh, freaking out, all because it's just a woman. And since, I was just a hot single man, I decided to jump on over there and talk to this woman. But I was too afraid to ask for a Snapchat or a number, so I ended up doing is I invited her to come with us for a ride. And I figured, once we stopped, after I saw how she rode, see if she was a decent rider or not, because for whatever reason that was a criteria that I had at the time. Because I rode motorcycles so much, I wanted to date somebody who also rode motorcycles with me, so that way we could be and hang out together all the time. So I invited her on a ride, and we ended up going down that way. Before I tell the rest of this story, I'm thirsty. Your boy needs a drink. I can't talk if I'm vocally parched.
I seen you out there.
Oh yeah? Your boy is a freak for the red booties. Today we're going to be driving the 765 Daytona, which is going to be part of a later story I want to talk about.
How many cc is that?
It's a 765. Like a little middleweight.
Dude, okay, so just be careful, okay? Don't be stupid.
I got 6 other bikes with my whole life.
Okay.
I love these things.
So you know what you do.
Oh yeah, I've been riding for going on 7 years, so.
You know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. Been through it all. Gotten hurt myself, lost friends, all the whole 9 yards.
Everything, huh?
I still come back to it.
Well, you love it.
I can't stay away from it.
Right.
I'm addicted slightly.
So I was 19. I bought a Honda 750, had it 3 weeks, and some old drunk pulled in front of me, and I hit him head on, totaled the bike.
Yeah.
I spent, a year saving for it.
Oh man.
Then I got married, had kids,
Yeah.
and 3 years ago my wife passed, and I decided to get a motorcycle, so I got a Goldwing. I went to the old man's bike. Yeah, when you get older, it's like, because they're so darn heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm tired of trying to control and lean and shift and all that. I got a DCD.
Well, it's got a reverse gear, doesn't it?
It does. It's got a slow forward too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are automatics, aren't those?
That one's the DCT. The dual clutch.
I like this. Every Harley, did you ever ride Harleys or anything like
I've
that?
ridden them. I've never owned one.
Every time I ride one, it feels like I'm about to die. That's why the Goldwings, we have a little bit more respect because they actually are solid bikes.
They're comfortable. It's like a couch on wheels.
Yeah. I saw a video of a kid, some dad took his kid on it and the kid fell asleep.
The Triumph demands a lot of attention. What can I say? Just be sitting here, people be coming up and talking. I love motorcycles, man. It makes me so happy. Anyway, back to my story. Where was I? So I invited that little biker girl on a little journey with us, and we took off down this road. Now, if you guys watch closely, if you guys watch that video, I was on my old BMW S1000RR. I've talked extensively about that motorcycle and how insane and stupid I was riding that bike. And there's a cop right there. Wish out, buddy. I was wheeling that bike a little bit, and I decided I wanted to show off for that girl. It's my way to try to be like, let me slide in there. So in order to wheelie a 1000cc bike, I needed a long stretch of highway that had absolutely no bumps in it. So we turned right about here as that Ford Raptor slowly merges into me as well. As you can see, this little stretch of highway right here is the perfect solution to that. Now, before I tell the rest of the story, I just want to say all individuals involved are fictional, and everything beyond this point is I'm making it up. And so right about here, there was no traffic on this day. There was a sheriff positioned right over there. I didn't see the sheriff at the time, and so I decided to go for a little clutch-up wheelie on the S1K. And it was at that point when I'm about halfway into the air as I made eye contact with that sheriff. And so me being me, and despite, I don't know, what was going through my brain at the time, I decided to just continue on forward. I never saw no lights. I never saw any sheriff flashing his lights at me. but I didn't stick around to find out. My friend that took off with me, please don't merge into me, my God. My friend that took off with me, we ended up getting off at this exit right here. And as we were traveling right along here, we saw two cops blitz past us going back this way, getting on the highway. Alas, I did not ever see that girl ever again. A few months after that, I ended up getting with a girl biker that ended up being a horrible f***ing idea. You know, I ended up learning the lesson eventually, but you know, the lesson needed to be learned nonetheless. I love riding motorcycles as much as the next guy, but I think it's definitely a hobby I like to keep to myself and not like to have a girl riding alongside next to me. It's too much stress. I can't take it. So far, whenever I've made references as to why I bought this motorcycle, I hope you guys notice I haven't made any references to the specs. You know, I haven't made references to, oh, it's got full OLEDs, it's got Brembos, it's a great track bike. The mirrors just work really well. You could just see everything that's behind you.
The stock mirrors are pretty nice. They give you they display a lot of information from what's behind you in a very nice way. I like that.
Yeah, bro, when I bought this bike, I'm like, this thing's gonna be an unreliable piece of shit. Actively leaking oil. It's going to be problematic. The tires aren't old and dry rotted. This bike sucks. It's going to be terrible. Yeah, it's smooth. You know, I talked about how smooth it rides and stuff like that, but like everything else about this bike, terrible. Horrible financial decision. But yet I still went out and spent $12,000. So Matthew, what's going on here? Why are you telling these stories and how does it relate to this bike? Well, my dudes, I'm one of those people that gets like severely emotionally attached to their motorcycles for whatever reason. I think every single one that I've owned has a story behind it. And my old Triumph 675, pictured here, even though I only owned that bike for a couple months, I have a lot of deep connection to that bike because I owned it during a period of time that defined me for quite a long period of time. And there's a reason I'm back in this city that I've told many of my stories before as well. You see, my little youngins, I bought my Triumph 675 as a 2016 model. I think I spent only $6,000 on that bike. Now compare that, then now I'm spending $12,000 on a bike that reminds me of it. It really tells you about the state of our economy, but whatever. Bought that old Triumph November of 2022. I didn't really get to ride it that much, kind of like how it's probably going to work this year, where the weather is slowly getting worse as soon as I bought this bike, but it's fine. Really giving me severe nostalgia now that I think about it. So the majority of the winter that I owned that bike, it was a pretty harsh winter, so it kind of just sat for a long period of time. But as you guys know, I've been doing school for the past 4 years, and so this was also during a time where I was super busy with school. I wasn't really making any money off of content, so riding wasn't like a huge concern of mine. It was during one of those really late night study sessions. I remember I was sitting it was after class let out, but it was like one of those days where I continued to sit in the same seat of my classroom studying because I had a test the next day. While I also had my phone next to me, I was swiping on Bumble. Of all things. By the way, don't use dating apps. Horrible f***ing idea. I was sitting there swiping on Bumble while I'm sitting there studying for my final, and I met this girl. When I met this woman off of Bumble. Oh boy. This girl has been a recurring person in some of my past stories, but what's up, little ZX10, man? That thing is brand spanking new. My man's probably just out for a nice little joyride like myself. So me and this girl, I'm gonna call her Kaya. Kaya, that's the name that worked. We began talking off this dating app, talking up a storm, going back and forth. Now, I don't remember exactly what I found so particularly attractive about this woman, but all I remember is your boy wanted more. So I began talking to Kaya back and forth, and eventually we met up for the first time. I think Mr. ZX10 man followed me. I was correct. So me and Kaya hit it off pretty good. Our first date went decently well, and so we continued to start hanging out. Now the thing is about Kaya, as I think I've talked about in previous videos, Kaya made it very apparently clear very early on that she was not interested in a long-term relationship. In fact, she went as far as to tell me that she did not want a relationship at all, not in the present nor the future. Me being silly little Matthew at the time, I was like, I bet I can change that, baby. Now I didn't say it like that, but like I was kind of like in this mindset that like I could change her. I can fix her. Let me tell you, my little youngins, you cannot fix her. By the way, my dudes, this chain is whooped. I measured it before I left, and it's way out of spec, but I don't have the proper nuts to be able to loosen. Like, I don't have the proper socket to loosen this because it's such a small size. So I ordered it, and I gotta wait for it to come before I can adjust it and get this bike perfect, but it was too irresistible to ride, so I just decided to ride it anyway. So one fateful night, it was Valentine's Day 2023, I decided to finally make a move on Kaya that would permanently seal me a relationship with this woman that I so desperately wanted. So I decided to come to this Walmart and pick out a little gift for this woman, get her a little Valentine's Day basket, so that way I could hand deliver it to this woman. I dragged my friends along with me who were dying to go riding that day, all the way out to Kent, just about an hour drive. that ZX-10 dude is still over there. That's hilarious. Bro came back for me. How sweet. Dragged my friends about an hour away so I could come visit this woman, put together a little gift basket that my friends were helping me put together. I was riding my old 675. I remember as I was leaving this Walmart, I did manage to capture this on video. This girl was brake checking me as I was leaving the Walmart and made me, like, she waved for me to come around, and it was a very famous video. I remember it got a lot of views back in the day. She asked me if if I wanted her snap, or she asked me for my snap or something like that.
Can I ride on the back of your motorcycle?
I'm sorry?
Can I ride on the back of your motorcycle?
Probably not. I'm in a hurry. I'm sorry.
So you don't want to give me your snap and take me for a ride another day?
I'm actually about to go move something else, so.
Okay. Oh, never mind then. Enjoy your night. Have a good one.
You know, heavens me, you know, I'm much more mature than that. I usually like phone numbers, but she asked for my snap, you know? And at the time, I was so, like, you know, and at the time, I was so into this girl that I wasn't even dating at the time. Like, we were hanging out, but we didn't have any labels, but I was like, I'm gonna get this girl. This random girl who was asking for my snap, who probably, you know, potentially could have been a more reliable pick. I told her that I was seeing somebody. I told her, actually, I was like, I'm sure you'll find somebody. Not me, though. Like, you'll find someone, I'm sure. And so I started up my little 675, got on my merry way, and went to go meet up Kaya with my little gift basket. The problem is, when you buy a gift for a girl that does not want to be in a relationship, it doesn't go over well, especially on Valentine's Day and when it's a surprise. I showed up to this girl's house. I showed her the gift. She responded like, oh, it's so sweet of you. That's so nice. After that, we hung out for a little bit, and I finally gave her the question. I told her, look, baby, looked her dead in her eyes. I said, I want to be with you. And that's when she, like, pulled one of those, like, ooh, actually, I got somewhere to be. Long story short, she basically did not want a relationship, even after I poured my heart out to her. Handwritten note, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that was not working with this girl. And so I left that house with my tail between my legs, hopped on my old Daytona 675, and ended up blasting home on the highway. You know, 2023 was one of the years of my old little reckless phase on my old motorcycle. This is back when I didn't really give a damn. And I'm pretty sure I rode the entire hour ride home back in about 30 minutes. Middle of the night, no cars on the road, pinned at red line the entire way home, bouncing off a limiter at 15,000 RPM. After Kaya made it very clear that she did not want a relationship, I ended up hopping right back on my little 675 and blasting it the entire way home. I think I remember turning a usually an hour-long trip in a car into about 30 minutes. No cars, no cops, just a kid and his little 600, just full throttle the entire way home. I sold that bike not long after that little instance. At the time, I kind of looked at it as kind of I had a negative attachment with that bike. Negative connotation, you know, that event kind of stuck with me for a little bit, very much in a negative way. You know, rejection, that's a thing that kind of makes you feel like you're not worth much. Despite everything I had going on, you know, I was trying as hard as I could in school. I had a job, even working part-time while in school. I just started on my little social media journey, but back then that's probably a negative thing, not so much of a positive thing. But still, I was trying as hard as I could at everything I was doing, and I just still felt like I wasn't enough. Looking back, you know, it's clear, like, that girl was probably hurting. That girl was hurting in more ways than I could comprehend, and she was giving me every warning sign she possibly could to try to tell me, hey, she wasn't ready. It was on me for not listening, but at the time, that feeling was still pretty raw. But all I can think about is how much I kind of regret selling that little 675. Because now whenever I think back and look on the event, I learned a lot. Like, yeah, it was negative at the time, but now I kind of think about that little memory a little fondly. Not because of that woman, but because of what I learned. I regret selling that little 675. It makes me think about that. It makes me think about where I've come from and where I am now. How much I've pushed myself to be the person I am today. And how I think I can continue to do so. And so when I saw this motorcycle pop up for sale, it made me immediately think about my old Daytona. It looks the exact same as my old bike. It rides a little bit different. It rides a lot nicer, to be honest with you, which is a good thing. I'm used to bikes that ride probably a lot better than my old Daytona, so it's nice to own a bike that rides a lot better than the old one, but still reminds me, I mean, it has the exact same frame, exact same subframe, exact same seat. It sits just as comfortable, but now I have this version of it that has a screen, has all like the modern stuff that my newer bikes have, electronic throttle, perfect brakes. It's lovely. Will it ever be the exact same as my old 675? Probably not, but it's just close enough. It's just enough of a familiar feeling enough. You know, like these old halogen headlights, these things, it reminds me so much of the old bike. It's just close enough that it makes me think of that old bike every time I look at it. You know, things didn't work out, but in the grand scheme of things, looking back on everything and how things kind of turned out, I think everything happens for a reason. And in the moment, yeah, I was crushed. I hated everything. You know, I was a little sad boy going a little fast on my motorcycle. Thankfully, luckily, I'm still here to tell the tale, and I think I ended up finding someone that I'm ending up being with for a long period of time, if not maybe forever. I take the lessons that I learned from back then and apply them and try to be a better person so I can have a better future. With all of that being said, I'm gonna go enjoy my little motorcycle now. Thank you guys for sticking around for my little story, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love y'all. Bye bye.